My name is Emily. Welcome to my garden. It's the place where dreams are cultivated. I have a great show planned for you today. Join me and the Blackstone Valley Garden Club as I present a workshop called Don't Throw It Out, Plant It. I'd like to thank the Blackstone Valley Garden Clubs and especially to thank Attleboro Farms for opening up their facility for us here in North Attleboro. We have a great program planned called Don't Throw It Out, Plant It. As you look across the table, you'll notice a lot of what some people might call junk. Another man's trash is. This whole workshop is to pique the imagination. It's to get you to think out of the box and to get you to think that way. Does anybody know what that is? I'm talking about this piece right here. It's a frame. It is a frame. Now this is in my living room and it's just like this all the time. A friend taught me this and I thought it was very apropos to bring this to this evening. This is the image that hasn't been created yet. It's that eureka moment where you're going across the room and you go, I know what I can use that for, and that's what this is all about. I'm going to go across the table in a fashion so that you can see some of the stuff that we've done. And then you have brought treasures. That was the idea. You went up into your attic to bring out attic treasures, and we're going to go on a treasure hunt here at Attleboro Farms. What are these? Boots. I never throw out my boots. They've served me well, and they continue to serve me. I usually have them lined up on my stairs in the summertime, and indeed I did just bring these in. Christmas, same boots. Santa just came to town. How cute is that? Next section, food for thought. This is an apple. It's called a Wolf River. They can weigh up to 1.5 pounds. What a great present for your child to go to school and present an apple for the teacher with a little arrangement in it that they've done. How about butternut squash? You ever get a butternut squash you'd never ended up cooking? It looks rather like a vase, doesn't it? This is a great idea. What do you suppose these are doing on the table? They're cheese graters. Wouldn't want to make lasagna with them. They're a little rusty. But I might want to put a tea light under it and create some soft lighting on the table. Isn't that pretty? It glows and it gives that warm homespun look. Soup tureen. Carved it out. Serve your pumpkin soup, of course, and your sugar pumpkin in little bowls that you've carved for Thanksgiving. It'd be lovely. How many of you go out for breakfast and maybe have a cup of coffee and you have these leftover creamers? About the same size of a plug, aren't they? To start your seeds. Now, how are you going to grow them? Well, came home from work yesterday, didn't feel like cooking, so I bought a chicken. There's your greenhouse. Pretty compact. I don't think it's going to make a mess. Are you familiar with what they call a pocket planter or an owl's bag? Get them in the spring. They're generally green plastic. They have little pockets in them and they hang on the wall. Yeah. There is one right there. Well, I kind of took this a step further and I made something out of a bag of potting soil I call a pocketbook planter. Voila. I again reaped my garden. Don't like that? Plant a pocketbook. Very nice. And hats. Hats make great centerpieces. Well, I fully intend on being a red hatter. I already bought my hat, as a matter of fact. How simple is that? Now I'm going to go across the table and show you something more for Christmas. I was involved in a project, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, the Festival of Trees in Providence. We all had a theme and decorated our trees. Of course, I did a gardening theme, and I did the Emily's Garden. What do you suppose I used the hose for? It was adorable. I had it wrapped around the tree, and I've actually seen these in fashion colors, no less. I've seen them in red. For the top, I used gardening gloves that I stuffed and positioned like so. These little pots are wonderful. The hands were holding the pot, or you can turn them upside down, they can be little bells, or you can string them together, they can be more garland. Don't forget the seeds. Have you ever made pinwheels out of the seed packages? You just cut the ends, fold them over, insert a pin in the middle and a straw, like so. Now you have these all over the tree. So don't throw out your seed packages. You may want to use the seeds, save the packages. Anybody have a beach house? Now I'm going to date myself, but I like the old tin pails we had when we were kids. But this would be lovely, maybe with a longer version of it on your steps. Oh, this. What do you suppose these are? I had an area in my yard that I wanted to draw attention to. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I had a grouping of plants over yonder, but I wanted to lead you in. The mind's eye will lead you in. Often it's with form, color, or texture. And whenever you do any garden design, you probably infiltrate those. It's like doing a portrait. You do layers. And I'll do one layer at a time, just like I'm painting a picture. Notice how your eye is drawn to this, just with these barrel hoops. Now you have to, again, use your imagination and think that this is all pine bark, and you've got some beautiful mounded soil. If you walked into the yard, what are you going to see first? And it's going to lead you right to where I wanted it to. I use sod for a lot of things. This little end table actually sits in my yard. I have two little seats that go beside it. It's gone through the summer, so it's starting to look the way it should in this season. I planted some violets, but you could very easily put lemon thyme so that when you rest your glass on it, you can smell it. I also took a round table that I got off the side of the road, cut a circle in the center of it, sunk a pot in the middle of it. The table is bright yellow, the pot is blue. I do a lot with cobalt blue. The cobalt blue bottles that sometimes you get, if you invert them in your garden, maybe put some bright yellow flowers with it, make a bottle wall, absolutely lovely. And I can tell you because I have that in my yard. Have you done mirrors in your yard? The borrowed landscape. What you end up seeing, if you have a back wall, is a reflection into really another garden. Does anybody know what this is? It's a clam basket and a clam rake. I have an imagination that won't quit. And I wrote a novel a couple years back. I don't know if it'll ever get published, quite honestly, but there are characters all throughout my garden. The bike in my backyard is called Will. He's the driving force. He's designed to keep you on course. I planted the wire basket. My boots are a character in my book called This Way and That. So you'll also find that a lot of these pieces were inspired by a very, very vivid imagination. Okay, that being said and done, I say we go on a treasure hunt. I had a great time tonight. We part until we meet again. See you next time in Emily's Garden. Don't throw it out, plant it.